All right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Flexible. Nothing but we actually so flexible. What's going on in that? Oh shit, that's like damn. Well, I hope it's 15 seconds before you gotta say a word. You said, "Hey kid." Hope it's 15 seconds. Ooh, that's loud. Ooh, yeah. Let me see.
Dr. Cap.
All right. All right, that's good. That's good. What's going on? What's going on? Today, Tuesday. Good day, a nice day. Day to day. K in the building. You know what I'm saying? Today. Day. On Friday. Dre Day. AK. Melee. Soccer. Pele. Friday. Payday. Torpedo. Mayday. Prime. Heyday. LGBTQ. Gay Day. I said I'm at the end of my rope. No, so check it out. I go to the gym today. I run into one of my neighbors, man. That dude been staying around here for 25 years. I just start messing with him, like seeing him in the gym. I didn't know him. Like we didn't know each other. But he say that. So I've been down here for 17 years on the east side. Really 18 years. And we know all these same people. But he like, bro, I know you, man. He like, but he like, when you be in the gym, dog, he was like, man, you always be like covered up and got your dreads put up and stuff. He was like, man, I didn't even know. Like, you know, I got a car that's pretty well known, or I had when I sold it. And he was like, man, I remember XYZ all this time not knowing it's me. Then he had the same car, a Monte Carlo, just like mine. And I know his car. I'm like, bro, that's you that had the car? Like, it's crazy, man. He said, do you know this girl that lived over here? That I know this girl that stay right in the middle of your block, whatever. He like, I be messing with her, whatever. I've been messing with her for years. I was like, fool. Her sister, I made love to her sister the day I moved into this house. We made love. I ain't even have furniture in here. She was like, she was like, you moving in here? She had a little underbite. She like, you moving in here? She was cute though. With a little bite. Oh, I know that body's smoking by now. Cause she had a little body on her, but she is petite. I know she done filled all out by now, but I heard she just had another kid though, so her body might not be smoking. And she like, you moving in here? I'm like, yeah. She like, what's your name? I'm like, Matt. She like, ooh, give me your number. I'm gonna come by here later. I'm like, all right, shit. Came by. We had a love affair. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. That's what we did. We can do it till we don't end up. Hey, kid, you wanna grab my phone for me? please. Thank you. E be in the building. What's going on, E? He's like mac and cheese. Mac and cheese, man. I'm rich. I'm rich in poppables. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody got more poppables than me. But no, so I run into him though, man, and it was just funny how we was just tripping. Like, bro, we done been around each other plenty of times, like know all the same people, all that, and never bothered even talking to each other before. You know what I'm saying? Life is crazy, man. Sometimes we could go through. E say, what it do, kid? Sometimes we could go through life kind of with our head down in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Try not to really notice people, but everybody kind of got that same mentality. You know what I mean? It's kind of like how you think somebody might be mugging you, but you was mugging their ass. You know what I'm saying? Like this nigga, you was mugging him. You was mugging him like, this nigga better not mug me. As soon as he looked at you, you was like, yup, he did it. Like, and you mugged him. You know what I'm saying? So it be like, you know, you might go around a bunch of people and be like, man, these niggas acting funny, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying nothing to none of these niggas. But then everybody else thinking like, man, niggas don't be saying nothing to these niggas, man. These niggas acting funny. It's like, it's just all mixed up, man. You know, sometimes we miss out on, he said, I be bugging like a mug. But you know, sometimes we don't see some stuff that's right up under us. And a lot of times, man, it ain't, I think a lot of our problem, man, like, as a people, you know what I'm saying, culturally and shit like that, is how similar we are. You know what I mean? It ain't that we so different. Like, man, I'm mad at this person because I don't like this person. It's like more like, man, I'm mad at this person because here this nigga come finna do what I know niggas do. Like, you know what I'm saying? It be some shit like that. And it just, we gotta get off that shit sometimes, man, because my guy cool as fuck. Like, we know all, he know like my family, you know what I'm saying? Like shit like that is crazy, man. But you just don't even never know, you know what I mean? But it's whatever, man. You know, shit crazy. And speaking of that, growing up, families, all that, man, this clip I got, this first clip, man, it's this mixed chick, right? And she talking about growing up like mixed in America, which was interesting. I said, okay, this is interesting. But so she get to talking about it because the title of the video was growing up mixed in America, but being able to pass as white though. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I wonder what kind of tale she got to tell, right? But it was some stuff she was saying that it let me know that, man, I don't know if she could see even from the outside looking in, but she was kind of selling out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what her name is as a content creator. My bad. Cause I know you ain't, you ain't like a big content creator, and I ain't trying to put you on blast, but from the outside looking in, man, we gotta dissect these stories you was telling, cause you was on some mixed kid shit with some of these stories, and we gotta bust them stories down, man. I said, is this some mixed BS? A little bit of bull, a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, mixed up. So we gonna see. And you know, just figure it out, you know, because them stories wasn't adding up. It was one thing in particular, but we gonna chop that down though. And speaking of those stories like that, man, and them narratives and all that, we got this lady who, I don't know if y'all know what CRT is, critical race theory. Is basically looking at racism from a standpoint of how it's woven into the fabric of America. That's it. That's all. And it's taught on the college level. But some people took it and been running with it. And they are trying to use it as a Trojan horse because a lot of people don't understand it, because a lot of people haven't took college level courses. You know what I mean? So they trying to take what they want and call it CRT, and they trying to attack stuff as far as the elementary school level. And Basically, it boiled down to them just whitewashing history. Like at this point, they just taking away Black history. We don't get involved in a lot of the stuff that go on in our kids' academics, so it ain't a lot. We kind of, and I don't. Why is that though? You know what I mean? Why do you think that is?
That we don't get involved.
Yeah, I mean, with us in particular,
I guess
our kids not really going through that shit.
No, because they get taught that at home. So.
Bam. Okay. So like, yeah, I guess for families, if you learning a lot about your history at home, because they definitely taking the history out of this Black history out of the schools that our kids is going to. But when I say us, I mean Black kids, not taking it out of the schools that the white kids are going to. So I be wondering, why don't you see these Black parents at the school board meetings and all that and everything like that? But I know, not even theories, I know some of the reasoning behind that. And we'll talk about it when we get to that. And then last but not least, getting a little bit political, man. Senator Tim Scott, Black dude, call himself being a Republican or whatever, basically running on the platform that white people, y'all are right, Black people are not that good. You know what I'm saying? Like, running on some we apologize. Really in the building, what's going on, my brother? Running on that platform that we sorry white, like I'm sorry white people. Let me try and do what I can for y'all. You know what I'm saying? And that shit ain't hidden, man. So he ain't gonna end up in office, but it's just funny to see, what he was trying to do and kind of bust dude down a little bit. So we definitely gonna talk about that. You know what I'm saying? And in the meanwhile, we gonna get these analytics together. I gotta give me some more red Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna make this thing happen. You know what I mean? Nice day outside, Everything going good. Kia in the building, day-to-day K. Got my mods on deck. Everything going good. So, we gonna get into these analytics, then we gonna get this thing started. Y'all already know what it is. Mac World Live Daily, baby. Let's go. Mac World live at 5, baby. You already know what it is, man. It's your boy Sean Mac in the building. Day-to-day K with me. You know what I'm saying? Making it happen live in the flesh. All right, let's go, y'all. So, told y'all, man, about this lady. She was telling this damn story. And I was trying to figure out whether it was something in particular where I was like, okay, because I'm black, you know what I'm saying? I'm black, she black, you know what I'm saying? Mama black, daddy black. My mama black, my daddy black. Her mama black, her daddy black. So we don't know how it is growing up mixed in America, right? Or being able to pass for white. But I had an idea, so I'm just a good deductive reasoner. I had an idea what kind of struggles they would have. And I'm like, okay, she finna talk about some of the struggles she had, with white people, right? Which she did, but she kind of whitewashed over that, though. You know what I'm saying? She kind of whitewashed over that, and kind of, it seemed like magnified issues she had with black people. Tell me if I'm tripping, though. You know what I'm saying? And then it be something about them cold blue eyes, man. I don't know, man, but shout out to let me see what channel this is. I get ready to shout out on this channel, but JC Aaron, man. So she say her experience being half black and white passing. It's interesting though, so listen to this, right? And we gonna cook on it.
Someone's race or ethnicity is usually a central marker to how somebody identifies. And I always felt like mine was just a big smudge that I could never decipher.
When you confused, you're black.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to it if this is your first time here. Thank you for joining us. My name is JC, and on this channel, I like to do some story times. I have a couple different series going on. I have my story times, I have snippets, sometimes I'll do some self-roasts, and then I also have what I'm calling my chit chats, where it's not so much a story, like a cohesive single telling of an event, but more so chit-chatting or maybe random.
She said chit chat. That's her white side. You already know. I was just talking shit. Let's go.
With you guys about certain aspects of my life or things that have happened. So this will be kind of my second chit chat. I would consider the video I did about why I quit social media and how I have since returned kind of another chit chat video, but just kind of trying something new. But this is a video that I have been putting on the back burner for a really long time, and it is about my experience growing up as a mixed kid, being half black and half white. The reason it took me so long is because I think I wanted to collect my thoughts thoroughly and not say the wrong thing. And the more I was kind of taking notes and scripting out what I wanted to say, the more I realized It's my experience and it's my own personal story, so it's not so much I could say the wrong thing, but I just wanted to make sure that I'm articulating all the points that I wanted to say. So sorry if you've been waiting for this video, but I'm really happy that I was finally able to get this video together. Now, I would like to apologize in advance for how dumb the lighting's gonna be, so maybe listen to this one as like a podcast. But you know what, let's just hop right into the video. This will be the story of me growing up as a mixed kid in America. So firstly, I want to talk about my experience growing up mixed. My siblings and I have always been very white passing. We all had blonde curly hair, olive skin, and I specifically had light colored eyes. So very white passing, but also air quote, exotic. I remember going to the fair as young tots, and people would stop and take our photo or like ask us if we wanted to get into modeling, which is super odd in hindsight. Like approaching strangers and calling your kids attractive, that's kind of weird. But I can definitely remember.
That was you. That was your first experience with them fetishizing the blackness you had in you. You was, she said, air quotes, exotic. What do you think was exotic about you to them? What, just take a wild guess. What part of what was exotic about you? You know what I'm saying? But let's keep on, see what else we sweep under the rug. Let's go.
From a very young age that the reason we would get looked at and praised was because we were mixed. We were this beautiful blend and we were different. The point is, I just always remember from a very young age just always being called mixed, because my whole life I've always been asked, what am I? I'm not white enough to be just white, so since the day I was born, I've always had to explain myself, if you will. So people would ask what we are, and my mom would always answer, they're mixed, half black, half white, and that's always how I saw myself. I know some people prefer the term biracial, others multi-ethnic. I know I prefer the term black, other people African American, but from a very early age and kind of for forever, I will always personally refer to myself as mixed, half black, and half white. As a kid in elementary school, you aren't really aware of ethnicities or religions in the scope of society, so we didn't really have opinions or judgments based on those. I mean, I think if I'm being honest, I was probably more concerned of whether I could trade my fruit roll-up for a Nutter Butter rather than like what skin color Jeremy was. So I don't remember anything really related to my ethnicity until probably about my preteens. That was mostly because I lived in a middle-class suburban neighborhood where there was a decent enough amount of diversity to,
Now
I guess,
we
not
get
notice
into
if
we
somebody
peeling the
looked different
layers
than myself.
away.
Then when I got into middle school, I didn't experience aggressive racism by any means, more like bad preteen jokes. And mine revolved around the fact that I am half black and my last name was White. So for some reason, JC half white was the best joke my peers could come up with. Real original. But this was also the time where we were more aware of, I guess, stereotypes, where if I made the school basketball team, friends would say that they only took me because I was part black, you know? It was also just stupid jokes like liking watermelon or drinking grape Kool-Aid, like just stupid stereotypes that didn't necessarily.
It was all just so stupid. Like, you know, like liking like watermelon and like Kool-Aid. Now let's bust that shit down for a second. Do she look like she like watermelon?
Hell the fuck no.
Do she look like she drink Kool-Aid?
Come on, man. Knock that shit off, man.
She don't look, Kia said with a straw. Probably, I don't even think she drink Kool-Aid with a straw. She don't look like she drink no damn Kool-Aid or no watermelon. Your friends were just racist, and they were doing things to let you know that you didn't belong. You don't look like you drink no Kool-Aid, no watermelon. And she gonna get to some of them even pointing that out to her, but saying it like it's a problem. But we gonna see what else she try to, you know, I know that she gonna keep a, just, man, watch this shit, man. Shout out to the girl again. I ain't trying to do this, but man, we gotta do this, man. Let's go. Sheesh.
Necessarily hurt my feelings nor make me reflect at all on my own ethnicity. And if I'm being honest, I kind of
didn't really
love
hurt my
telling people
feelings.
that I'm
Listen,
half
that ain't hurt
black,
her
partly
feelings.
because I kind of considered it my party trick. So keep in mind, my whole life, I straightened my blonde hair. I didn't embrace my curls until way later in life. So, I mean, look at me without the hair. I don't look black. And that's kind of how it was growing up. So, you know, I'd go to a birthday party and friends would make like a stupid fried chicken joke and they'd turn to their new friend and say, oh, you didn't know? She's half black. And we'd all revel in how wild that was. So I'll kind of even throw my...
No. This is the part right here where shit start getting sticky for me, right? Because she said, you know, I just considered being black one of my, you know, party tricks. That's your race. That's your identity. Why do your blackness gotta be a party trick? So you said they would say a stupid fried chicken joke and it'll be like, oh, she's half black, you know, just stupid. That's called self-depreciating. That ain't called comedy. You're being self-depreciating to fit in with them. She said, is it really half or does one have more? She do secretly. I don't hear the black half, right? Man, she said, it's just stupid fried chicken jokes. No, that's them shit talking you about being black. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Self into these stereotypes like, oh, I'd be the first person to die in a scary movie. Oh, it's because I'm black. You didn't know? Pretty crazy, right? You know, I definitely considered it like my defining and differentiating feature. So I wasn't hurt at all by the jokes, and I kind of embraced it again as like a stupid little party trick almost. It wasn't until high school that I realized the judgments being placed on me for identifying this way. So things went from stupid jokes to actually questioning everything I did or said. I had a whole new school of people to test out my party trick on. And instead of a lighthearted response, it was an incredulous, oh, you're black, but you don't act black.
That's because you went around trying to use your blackness as a party trick. You should have been right as a token, like Kia said. You should have been your damn self. And then now that they seen that you thought you was too cool trying to fit in with your quote unquote party trick, they start checking you. And I told you that it don't matter if you don't. That's the plantation protocols, like I always tell y'all. She said that she wasn't acting black, but they was pointing it out to her like that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, if you black, not only do you, basically this is what your white friends were saying. You black, so you don't fit in with us, and we want to see some shit. We want to see some black stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's where white people hang out. That's what make every sellout mad. I'm gonna say this, man. Listen, I'm finna drop a gem on you motherfuckers right now. What make every sellout mad is that they know they not really what white people like. They really want to see some ghetto black stuff. They don't want to see what's the value of you coming around telling like being you black, but you trying to do everything to fit in with them. What do that mean to them? You know what I'm saying? That's a burden to them. You know what I mean? But if you come around hip hopping and bebopping and shit, it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? They eat that shit up. So every sellout be mad because they hate and I was thinking about this shit. It's like they hate the state of having for shit to have to be like that. So they want to show like, no, I'm not like that. I want to be something different. But also they take on the tone of separatism from their own people, and that's where the shit go wrong at. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that make them mad, because as they take on that tone of separatism and they try to make themselves a useful token, they like, yes, I'm in there. But then when they see a black person come around and they see they white friends like liking them or talking to them, and they ain't like a sellout, you know what I'm saying, prompt and whipped and shit, they be like, oh, I gotta get rid of this nigga. Who that nigga riding up on that horse? Ain't that what dude said? It said, oh, Django, like, who that nigga riding, galloping up on that horse? Like, dog was mad about that shit. Like, you know, that's how they be. That's a sellout biggest fear. Oh, man, let's go.
Or, you don't talk black. And for the first time, I was like, what the hell does that mean? So now all these stereotypes we joked about were actually getting imposed on me, and I was being scrutinized for, I guess,
Because they wasn't never jokes. You was trying to joke about it to fit in. They was talking shit about you.
Black? People were now responding in a way that showed they didn't believe, not because of how light my skin was, but instead predetermined characteristics and actions I should be having. I kid you not, one time I told somebody that I was half black, and they literally responded, "But you're smart." What the actual fuck? Like, I started noticing these inherent racial thoughts and biases from others that were starting to get hurtful. But it wasn't just from non-black people, because it'd be from black friends as well. I specifically remember telling a friend, like, "Oh, you know I'm black, right?" And she said, "Nah, you don't act black, so you don't count."
She don't act black, so she don't count, right? Not fried chicken, not watermelon. You know what I'm saying? She would point out herself that she didn't act black. Her white friends pointed out that she didn't act black and told her that, but added the element of her also not being a idiot to it. But when her black friends say, "Oh, you don't act black," she just in shock now. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's so hurtful.
I specifically remember telling a friend, like, "Oh, you know I'm black, right?" And she said, "Nah, you don't act black, so you don't count." And that always stuck with me. You don't count. It was as if I wasn't black enough to fit everyone's concept, so I wasn't allowed to identify that way.
Not everyone's. Nobody's, because it was the white people. The white people said the same thing. And also, you have acknowledged yourself, party trick, that's your thing, is revealing your blackness as an ironic circumstance, party trick. But now it's like when you reveal your party trick to your black friends, they just like, "Man, that shit don't count. Let's move on." They like, "That shit don't count. Let's move on." Yeah, so what was we doing? Whatever, like, they don't care about that shit. And that just, it stuck with me. And that stuck with me. Not fried chicken, not the watermelon jokes, not all that, "But you smart," all that, her saying that you ain't acting black. So, and the whole purpose of the whole caption of your video is not being half black and white. It's half black and white passing, meaning passing for what? White. You know what I'm saying? So all you have to do is act a certain way to completely shed your blackness. Your friend accepted that shit and accepted you and moved the fuck on, and you sitting there struck, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that always stuck with me. It wasn't only for my white friends, it was also for my black friends. Like, dude, they ain't said shit to your ass but the truth. Black people gonna keep it real. Child, you ain't acting black. Now go out and get your ass in this house. You know what I'm saying? They ain't finna do all that hypothesize. Nah, get your non-black ass in the house. Get your non-black acting ass in the house and shit. Party trick.
For somebody snatch you.
Right, for somebody to snatch.
Cue the identity crisis.
Yeah, Amber Alert. Before it be an Amber Alert over
No,
you.
I'm just kidding. I didn't have a full-blown like moment standing in the rain shouting, "Who am I?" No, nothing that dramatic, but I could definitely say I subconsciously tried to hide my ethnicity in high school so as not to be questioned about it. I guess in essence, I moderated my blackness. I guess what I started doing was adapting based on the social group with which I was interacting. So, you know, the more black people in the group, the louder I would speak, or the more slang I would incorporate.
So let me get this straight. Selling out now. It's called moderating. Hold on, what'd she say? I moderated my blackness to cater to the group I was with socially. That's the new selling out. Like, ain't no selling out no more, just moderating your blackness. Nah, but so now I said we get to the meat and potatoes of the issue. And my issue with this was partly that I feel like in the background she's still doing this thing where she's mainstreaming her white side and othering her black side without even in this video, without even really noticing it. Like it's a inherent bias that she got. And it's like everything black is taken so much harder. It's so much harsher. Everything that's you going through on your white side, you know what I'm saying? It's all lighthearted and shit like that. It's goofy, you know what I mean? And she was like, "Oh, it's just my party trick," and that shit start going. It ain't start going good. It wasn't going good with the black people, and she got mad at us. Like, why you mad at us? We ain't got time for that shit. Right? Like, you the one black passing and all that shit. We don't know what's going on. It's like, hey, you got the notes, and it's like, you know I'm black, right, sis? Like, nah. Do you got the notes, or do you not got the motherfuckers, man? Like, we ain't got time to decipher your identity crisis, man. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of identity crisis, oh my God, dude, that run me right into my next clip. I don't know if y'all know this dude. Back in the days, every once in a while, they do this every like 5 years. We get a new black dude, Republican dude. It's always only one. If y'all want to see some funny shit, it's always only one black senator of all them senators. It's like 300 white dudes and one black dude, right? But it's always only one. And so the one black dude we got right now, it used to be like Alan Keyes, but now it's Senator Tim Scott. And dude just put in his bid for president. So we got another black dude that's finna be running for president. You know what I'm saying? The first, like, I'm talking about like real black dude since Barack Obama, right? But if y'all don't know about Tim Scott, y'all finna learn today. Senator Tim.
South Carolina Senator Tim Scott has thrown his name in the hat for the presidential race. He is planning to run for in the Republican primaries, and the American people want to know, is he in fact still a virgin? Well, one reporter wanted to know, and that reporter is Ben Terrace. Apparently, he revealed that he once asked the Republican presidential candidate whether he was still a virgin, and there was good reason to ask that question. But first, let's back up a little bit to kind of understand what the story is really about. So Scott is a Republican senator, a very conservative one representing South Carolina. He's also the only black Republican senator, period. Now, today, he officially announced that he will be running for president in 2024. His campaign is just now starting, but he has a long way to go to catch up to Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis if he manages to be able to do that. Now, the most current polling coming from Morning Consult found that Scott is getting just 1% of the vote from Republican primary voters. So again, he's got a long way to go. And speaking of Donald Trump, he reacted to Scott's announcement very differently from how he reacted to Ron DeSantis potentially running. He hasn't announced yet, he's expected to announce. Here's what he wrote on Truth Social. Good luck to Senator Tim Scott in entering the Republican presidential primary race. It is rapidly loading up with lots of people, and Tim is a big step up from Ron DeSanctimonious, who is totally unelectable. I got opportunity zones, done with Tim, a big deal that has been highly successful. Good luck, Tim. Okay. So obviously he doesn't see Tim Scott as a threat, which is why he's so friendly to Tim Scott, and also used this as an opening to throw a few more jabs at Ron DeSantis, which I think is hilarious.
So before we get to Tim Scott's virginity, I love that message. Way to enter the race, Tim. It's nice to have you here.
Good luck.
Yeah, if he thought Tim Scott was 1% of a danger to him, he'd be like, oh, this Tim Scott's a rhino. He doesn't even like Mar-a-Lago. There's something wrong with him. Okay, have you heard what he calls his cat? It's totally unacceptable. Okay, I'm calling him Tim Scott Tape. Okay, because That's what he is. So no, obviously he thinks Tim Scott's a joke.
He's getting 1% at the moment, 1% of Republican primary voters.
He's not. Of course he's a joke. Of course he's not going to win.
Yeah.
Guys, look, anybody can beat Biden. Not anybody can beat
Anybody
Trump.
can be beat.
Yeah, but not anybody can beat Trump in a Republican primary. Okay.
Yeah.
In order to beat Trump in a Republican primary, you got to come real strong. You think Tim Scott, whose whole career is based on white people, you're right, blacks are not that great. You think that guy's going to beat Donald Trump? No, he's not. It's not even going to come close.
So Scott is very conservative, okay? So the Susan B. Anthony Foundation, Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life America gave him an A rating, although he's kind of waffling on when he would ban abortion, right? So,
ooh, okay. I mean, don't worry, it's getting banned. It's just a question of when, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Monday or Tuesday.
But Scott, much like every other politician, likes to test the waters and has seen that the reversal of Roe v. Wade did not bode well for the Republican primary for Republican candidates in the midterms. And so he's not as vociferous against abortion these days, but nonetheless, he's got some fat pockets apparently. He's been planning to run for president and he's been fundraising already. So after Scott won re-election to the Senate in November, his campaign committee still had $22 million in cash on hand that can now be used to bolster his presidential candidacy. According to the FEC, Scott's existing funds represent the largest sum of money that any US presidential candidate has ever had when launching a campaign.
Irrelevant.
So to be fair, I mean, you're right, but to be fair, he didn't fundraise that money specifically to run for president. He did it for his re-election campaign for the Senate, but he does have that giant wad of cash ready to go for this presidential run.
Which, by the way, explains why mainstream media takes him seriously, because he's going to spend that cash on mainstream media ads. So they're like, Tim Scott, very important person, has entered the race. I mean, you never know, he could win, he could win. You'll have to see his ads first, though.
His what?
His ads.
Oh my God.
Not his abs.
I thought you said ass. I'm like, what?
Okay, well, we're gonna get to that though, isn't it?
We don't need to see that. All right, anyway, so let's get to the whole virgin stuff. Like, why did that even come up? So, as a conservative, Scott, especially in like the 1990s, loved to give these speeches about the importance of abstinence, waiting until you're married. Okay, so Scott, who frequently talks about his faith, plans to focus heavily on the evangelical Christian vote in Iowa, the first in the nation caucus state, where he has held meetings with pastors in recent months, according to his advisors. Are we seriously going to pretend like evangelical voters give a damn about being chaste? About like literal conservative values?
None, zero.
Come on, guys.
The only thing they care about is how much do you own the libs? And is Tim Scott going to own the libs harder than Trump does?
I'm just saying.
I got news for you, he ain't.
I'm just saying, after evangelical voters and just whatever, evangelical power players, if you want to call them that, were willing to like turn a blind eye to Trump's indiscretions, if you want to call it that. Like, come
his
on.
raw dog antics with porn stars.
Come on, guys.
They're like, oh, you went raw dog on a couple of porn stars. Oh, no, that's right after thou shalt not covet. Well, okay, yeah, we never meant any of it.
So let's get back to Ben Terrace, okay? Because he had an exchange with Scott back in 2012, and that's what he's reminding us all about through the context of a Twitter thread. He writes, Tim Scott will be the first presidential candidate I've ever asked about the status of his virginity. Initial answer, quote, I'm not talking about my sex life with Ben Terrace. Then he stood up and said, I have to go potty.
Okay, so that was from 2012, okay, to be fair. So we don't know how much Tim Scott has been down to get the friction on since then, okay? But apparently he didn't want to talk about it back then. Still not married though. I mean, I hope you're keeping that abstinence up, Tim, because you've been lecturing all other people.
No, I hope he's not. I think if he's still a virgin, that is a liability at this point.
Running for president, come
there's
on,
something,
man.
no, come on. Like, honestly, in the eyes of the average American voter, I don't even know how old Tim Scott is, but he's too old to be a virgin. And no offense to the virgins out there, but like.
So look, I joke around about the incels all the time. We say like, oh, we're involuntarily celibate. Yeah.
Dude, they too damn funny, but nah, that's Tim Scott, y'all. I'm gonna kind of, cause it's a long clip, but they got it in a nutshell. Tim Scott, black dude, call himself evangelical Christian. Them is like the slave owner Christians. Virgin, supposedly virgin, dude, like 50 or something. You ain't getting in the White House, bro. You really think white folks finna put some? Ain't even no first lady. What you gonna have up there? Who you gonna have up there with you? You just always gonna be by yourself? Then you gonna have what you gonna do? You gonna get a girlfriend? You gonna get a wife? What happens if you get a white lady? They not gonna like that. You know what I'm saying? That's woke. That's interracial marriage. That's woke, bro. They don't like that. But then if you get a black lady, man, that's woke. You know what I'm saying? That's woke too. Like, that's black love. That's woke. You ain't, man, what you gonna do, Tim Scott? You out of there, bro. What are you gonna do? What you say, kid?
Church in the White House.
You going right? It's gonna be church in the White. No, it's gonna be celibacy initiatives and shit. You know what I'm saying, in the White House and all that. I don't know. So my thing is this. First of all, the worst black man to run for president, worse than Al Sharpton. Get Tim Scott the whole fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? He don't got a chance of winning. When it come down to it, white folks not voting for him for president. That's like Barack Obama being president. Like they hated that. Barack Obama didn't even do nothing wrong. They hated that shit. Like before he even got a chance to do anything. So they not voting for him. And then as far as, you know, the black people not voting for no damn Tim Scott. Dude look like a fish out of goddamn water. Don't nobody know what's going on with him. He got a scared look on his face all the time. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about what they think he could do, and what they think he could do is indoctrinate people. A lot of that is what's going on right now in this big business, and it's a lot of what's driving a lot of people's like, I guess they political interests, they political campaigns is like, man, I'm gonna stop CRT, I'm gonna stop woke, I'm gonna stop, and all that is code words for black history, black advancement, black, you know what I'm saying? Woke is black people doing shit in their own right. You know what I'm saying? That's woke. What you doing? Waking up, get woke, go broke. We're not gonna give you money to do what you want to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? And CRT, that's just black history. Critical race theory, that's just black history. You know what I mean? Let's go.
CNN's Evan McMorris, Santoro, speaking to a mom. This is a Tennessee mom who's leading some of these sorts of anti-CRT stuff. And it's just interesting the way that, well, we can play it and then we'll react to it.
Okay.
I'm just going to play the full one.
Yeah.
Just outside of Nashville, basic American history is up for.
His parents taught him about George Washington, and he identifies George Washington as a white man, and then asks if he would be killed back then because he has brown skin. I mean, he's judging George Washington not by any of what about being the founder of our country.
So when do we tell the kid that, in fact, he may have been killed back then because of the color of his skin?
Well, I'm not sure that's what you teach, that you would have been killed for the color of your skin. That's a narrative, really.
Robin Steenman is trying to change the narrative on race.
That's a narrative.
So it is a narrative, and actually, I want to see what she's saying and say, like, actually, you're right. If that's all they're teaching, that if you were a black person in colonial Virginia, you would be immediately killed, that would be the wrong lesson to teach somebody. The correct lesson is that if George Washington comes galloping up on his horse and sees a black person that he doesn't know who they belong to, he's not going to kill them on the spot. He is going to enslave them and use their labor on his plantation. And failing that, failing acceptance of that sort of slavery, then that person will be killed. So that should be that's the fuller lesson that parents' child should be taught in this instance.
Yeah, the full context of slavery is a narrative, but my commitment to an American exceptionalist white ideal, that's not a narrative. That's just a myth that I think is so dandy.
This is myth protection. This
Yeah.
is like, we want to look at all the great things he did founding our country. Like, not let's actually historicize George Washington as somebody who always had an eye on, say, property in Ohio, and that might have sweetened the pot for him to leave office because he can start explaining some of that sort of stuff. Washington, yeah, I mean, or historicize.
So we learned about that in school. It's called, what you talk about, historicizing something. They'll take a event and you know how they say like you'll watch a movie and they say events have been like rewritten or like whatever, however they say it. Basically they do that with history. They redo that for the history books, little things tweaked and shit. George and the cherry tree and all that shit, you know what I mean? Bottom line boiled down to like, man, America was made on a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, man. It wasn't really made by just these idealistic like founding fathers like that. And what they really want to do is they want to stop people from learning that shit. You know what I'm saying? They want to stop people from really knowing the truth. If you not, they trying to say it's under the guise of not trying to politicize history, but that's when that really reveals something that I told y'all. Black people are a political party. In America, black is a political party, whether y'all want to think about it or not. We got the black vote. We got black politicized, black on black crime. That's different than regular crime. You know what I'm saying? We got black this, black that. You know what I'm saying? Like everything we do is politicized and shit like that. You know what I mean? So it's just a extension of that. You know what I mean? And they taking our history and just politicizing it, man. Like our section of, it's like, man, so 7 years ago, the founding fathers founded America. Okay, that's cool. And then this happened. Okay, that's cool. And then slavery happened. Whoa, are we getting political? What's going on? What are we doing? The Black Lives, what are we doing? Then it's like they got to try and stop that when you hit the parts with black people. Now start to get political. They want to erase our history, but I'm going to tell you this, though. This is the thing, right? They try and do that shit so they could do it all over again. Anytime they trying to sweep something under the rug, it's so they could do it all over again. It's deeper than that. They even trying to take TikTok down because of that reason. They want to stop a lot of like critical race theory and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like, people is getting a lot of lessons like from like TikTok and shit. And TikTok ain't really regulated by the government. And then on top of that, Elon Musk, you know, he a South African apartheid white supremacist and shit. Like for real. You can check it yourself. You ain't got to believe. So what ended up happening with Elon Musk and stuff like that is he trying to get them to take down TikTok too. He want TikTok gone as well because he know that it's his biggest competitor for what he's trying to teach and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Check this shit out.
Illegally selling water without a permit on my property.
Whoa! Hey!
You don't live here. I'm uncomfortable.
Oh, goodness. In Tennessee, a group of white parents, called for the removal of a book about the life of, yes, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This is the first complaint filed under Tennessee's new anti-critical race theory law. In an 11-page complaint filed by a conservative
Martin Luther King, they gonna quote him and pull all his books out of the schools. Ain't that crazy?
Martin Luther King Jr. and the March on Washington was among a set of lessons promoting anti-American rhetoric. However, the state's Department of Education declined to investigate the book because the lessons took place last year. Not that they're stupid, but they don't actually apply this year when the law was passed. Amisha,
it's like it just timed out.
People have to understand.
You know what I mean? They would have banned the book, but it was just that they already used the book. But that shit just crazy right there. It go to show you, like, you know, they pulling the history out of schools for a reason. they don't want us to know the stuff that they did in the past and how we got around it, because we gonna have to get around that shit again. They gonna try to do everything again that they did before. When they talk about making America great, you gotta think it wasn't great for everybody in the past. They want it great for them, you know? That's what they trying to do. CRT, all this anti-CRT, that's just whitewashing. They want to whitewash black history, for real, for real.
The issue was not critical race theory, which is only taught in law schools and not taught anywhere else. They want dealing with equity, anything dealing with diversity as anti-critical race theory. That is their aim. As anti-critical race theory. That
I'm gonna go back a little bit.
They want to label anything black.
Anything black.
They want to label anything dealing with race, anything dealing with equity, anything dealing with diversity as anti-critical race theory. That is their aim.
Absolutely. And I think that we have to talk about this over and over and over again. Critical race theory was never the goal for Republicans. It was never the goal for conservatives. It was never the goal for this new wave of education reform. What they want to do is eradicate any knowledge of American history that is inclusive to the struggle, the fight for civil rights, as well as a lot of the atrocities that white Americans have embedded upon or encroached upon people of color, be it whether they're Black, Latino, Native American, or otherwise. They are trying to strip and be able to only tell the history they want to tell of the shining white guy hero, reiterated over and over again throughout American history. They don't want to talk about the Trail of Tears. They don't want to talk about the Civil Rights Movement. They don't want to include books that speak on the atrocities of slavery, the injustices that followed Reconstruction, the Civil Rights Movement in and of itself, of the lynchings, both in my granddaddy and great-granddaddy's day, but also happening in modern day America. These are things that they want to strip from the books because they don't want a next generation of young people to learn about them. They don't want to have any bit of heritage actually represented for people of color in those books. And let's be real, Roland, very little of our story was actually included in the history books to begin with, long before this critical race theory argument was ever even thrown out. But this isn't about CRT. The argument has always been white people trying to design books and literature based on their view of what America is. And their view of what America is does not include cultural representation of us. It does not include the pathway that we have walked throughout this country and the many atrocities that have been bestowed upon us, as well as, in all honesty, some of the things that we have done that have helped to benefit this country as Black people. Those things.
Exactly. Nah, she cooking. You know what I'm saying? She going off. She saying a lot of things that I just said. But no, that's real shit though. They covering all that stuff up for a reason. It ain't really got nothing to do with critical race theory and anti-American and all that. It's just they know a younger generation is gonna be different as they learn and they know better, they'll do better. But doing better for people that's privileged look like they taking a hit. You know what I mean? If you are privileged, equality is a step down. If you in the underclass, just getting equal treatment is a step up. We ain't never want nothing but what everybody else had. You know what I mean? And we done had to march for it. We done had to do everything. Now they like, oh, they're violent. But when we was non-violent, they hated us more. They hosed us down, released dogs on us, all that shit, right? So it is what it is, man. But ain't nothing gonna stop a Black man from stepping. And we here and we ain't going nowhere. And even if they cover up the history, we got shit like this where we gonna still talk to each other, communicate. You know what I'm saying? Make sure we do what we gotta do to keep that dialogue flowing, because this would really matter. We wasn't even able to talk like this before. But we here now, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to E. Shout out to Annette, you know what I'm saying? Day-to-day K in the building. You know what I mean, man? I love doing this shit with y'all, man. Love hollering at y'all about these topics. chopping it up with y'all, man. You know what I mean? Any topics y'all got, just let me know. Y'all can hit me up. Facebook, hit me up on here. And just let me know, and I discuss it. You know what I mean? But yeah, shit, that's what it is, man. Watch out for these folks, man. They got some underlying motives to all the stuff they do when they dealing with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh well, I just think that, you know, Martin Luther King and all we need. Nah, Martin Luther King ain't did shit. Ain't do shit. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Nah, but you know what it is, y'all, man. Your boy Mac, man. I'm up out of here. So till tomorrow, I'm gone, y'all. Later.